At just 16, Ramana Maharshi experienced a profound spiritual awakening triggered by a sudden intense fear of death. It was this enlightenment experience that would change his life forever. This Indian sage of the 20th century would later be revered as one of the most influential mystical teachers of his era. He guided seekers who came to see him toward the discovery of an unshakable inner peace that lies at the core of all beings, and the dispelling of fear and anxiety that comes with the recognition of who we really are at the deepest level. Ramana was born in 1879 in Tamil Nadu, India, as the second of 4 children to a devout Hindu family. Early in his life, he was exposed to traditional religious practices, his father being a devotee of Shiva, often reading scriptures and engaging in spiritual rituals around young Ramana. But it was in his mid-teens that the most transformative and transcendent shift happened. Sitting on the floor in his uncle's house, a sudden, violent fear of death overtook him, which led him to a profound self-inquiry, leading him to the realization of the true self beyond the physical and mental existence. "I just felt I'm going to die, and began thinking what to do about it," explained Ramana. "The shock of the fear of death drove my mind inwards, and I said to myself mentally, now death has come, what does it mean? What is it that's dying?" Within this intense panic, he decided not to shy away from that demon of fear, but to face it by looking within himself at all that can apparently die, to discover that within each one of us transcends the death of the body and mind. So, I am the spirit transcending the body. The body dies, but the spirit that transcends it cannot be touched by death. This means I am the deathless spirit, said Ramana. This revelation was so transformative that he left his home, renouncing worldly attachments, and journeyed to the sacred mountain of Arunachala, where he spent the rest of his life teaching and guiding seekers on the path of self-realization. His teachings weren't based on bookish knowledge or intellectual understanding, but stemmed from his direct experience of the ultimate reality. Ramana's preferred teaching was silence. Many seekers reported by simply being in his presence, one would receive a profound sense of peace by way of osmosis. But for those who kept asking for more, he prescribed a method called self-inquiry, which involves asking oneself the question, "Who am I?" on progressively deeper levels, until one discovers one's true nature as the infinite and boundless presence of awareness beyond all name and form. He proposed this method as a way of dispelling all the layers of false identification to reveal one's true essence, not as a limited, separate individual, but as infinite consciousness itself. Ramana explained that the human condition is plagued by an incessant search for happiness and peace outside oneself in the world of objects, experiences, and relationships. This outward search is characterized by the false identification with the ego, or individual self, a sense of I with a never-ending thirst for more, and a complete inability to be permanently satisfied. This, as highlighted by Ramana, is the root cause of all suffering. The Who Am I inquiry was proposed as a way to turn this search inward, questioning the very identity of the seeker to reveal the source of peace and happiness within oneself, or more accurately, to reveal peace and happiness as the nature of our very being, or of simply what is, before all these false identifications and illusions arise. In Ramana's words, the world is not apart from the self. The I thought is the first to arise in the mind. When the inquiry "Who am I?" is persistently pursued, all other thoughts get destroyed, and finally, the I thought itself vanishes. This method of inquiry, though simple in its approach, exposes profound revelations. It challenges the fundamental assumptions about our identity, forcing us to confront the transient nature of the body and mind and the illusions that we cling onto for security and comfort. Recognizing the inevitability of fear and confusion, Ramana encouraged seekers to use these experiences as catalysts for self-inquiry. He didn't perceive suffering and anxiety as enemies, but rather a necessary part of life that propels one towards the discovery of one's true nature beyond all fear. The fear of losing our cherished identities and stepping into the unknown can feel paralyzing. The idea of surrendering our sense of control and letting go of our cherished beliefs keeps us stuck in the cycle of suffering. But if we wish to experience true peace and freedom, we must be open to questioning our most deeply held assumptions and face the freefall of not knowing. Ramana emphasized that the ultimate truth cannot be found in the realm of thoughts and concepts, but can only be discovered through direct experience. He urged seekers to go beyond the intellectual understanding and dive into the depths of consciousness. In Ramana's words, the ever-present self needs no effort to be realized. Realization is already there. Illusion alone is to be removed. In order to reveal this supreme state, that is in fact our natural way of being, one must be willing to let go of these illusions, these false identities, and completely surrender to the flow of life. For the ego, this feels like an impossible leap of faith into the unknown, a death of everything that one considers to be me, but for the one true and only self, it is the immediate and obvious reality that's left shining brilliantly after all illusions are seen through. In a world that values intellectual knowledge and a sense of certainty, Ramana's message challenges us to embrace uncertainty, unknowing, and to let go of the need for that knowing and control that causes us so much anxiety. His message invites us to step into the mystery of simply being and discover the peace and freedom that's inherent in who we really are at the deepest level. According to Ramana, the consequences of clinging onto our false identities and resisting the flow of life is continued fear, anxiety, and confusion. But if we have the curiosity and openness to investigate our assumptions and surrender the individual sense of self to the flow of life, we can discover our true nature and experience the peace and freedom that we've been seeking all along. Fear and anxiety, instead of being limitations, become gateways to the discovery of our true power. Fear and anxiety, as terrifying and as uncomfortable as they can be in their most intense moments, becomes the thing that wakes us up to our freedom. In the words of modern spiritual teacher Eckhart Tolle, suffering is necessary until you realize it's unnecessary. Our fears and insecurities may be temporarily quelled by distractions, new experiences, or substances, but inevitably they reappear in other forms and become increasingly existential until one gives up looking on the outside for the cure and finally has the willingness to look beyond. We may feel that we become broken, but in reality, we become broken open to a new perspective that leads us to live life from a deeper place, from a place of inner peace that transcends the illusion of only being a person, of only being a body-mind subject to death and decay. We reveal within us that which is beyond this temporary form, the unchanging and ever-present self that shines through all experience. And even if feelings of fear remain present in the body or anxious thoughts continue to rattle through the mind, we know our true self as ultimately beyond them, and with time, they gradually unwind. The revelation of one's true nature may not immediately heal all our emotional blockages and traumas, but it sets the perfect stage for that healing. The body and mind may need time to catch up to the immediate revelation of timeless freedom. Through emotional healing, releasing, and relaxing, the body and mind increasingly reflects our true nature. Our human avatar becomes an increasingly refined vessel for the expression of the ultimate truth in how we feel, the way we relate to others, and the creations we birth into this world. We take action, less and less on behalf of a limited ego and more on behalf of an unlimited consciousness. We learn to become emotionally freer, more peaceful, more loving. We do things in the world still. We take care of our body and mind. We may create businesses, projects, organizations, or works of art, but we progressively align them with a deeper understanding of reality and of who we are. They become less and less a desperate grasping for money or security, and more about trust in the divine unfolding and a recognition of our shared beingness and a celebration of our interconnectedness. When we know fear and anxiety for their true purpose, as signposts back to the truth, instead of being limitations, they become the key to greatness. And so I really hope you've been enjoying this video and finding it both eye-opening and mind-opening. I'm Alex, and I've got a quick announcement for you. A few more slots have opened up for the free one-to-one to see if you'd be a good fit for the Awake and Aware program over at speaktoalex.com. Through this program, we've helped many to break free from fears, anxieties, and limiting habits. If you're done with fear holding you back, or living a mediocre life with the same stuff day in, day out, and you want to build something that positively contributes to the world and in exchange brings abundance to your life, this program is for you. Or if you're a conscious entrepreneur that has had some momentum but has ran into some blocks and wants help taking things to the next level, this program is also for you. So head over to speaktoalex.com to book a time for us to chat about solving your problems. And with that being said, like this video if you liked it, and of course, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any new videos helping you be the conscious creator of your life. Peace.